following is a presentation of the Trojan Sports Network.
Boom, 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 boom. Boom, 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 boom.
Good evening, everybody, and welcome to Turner Stadium on the campus of Taylor University for tonight's highly anticipated Grant County Derby between the 9th-ranked Indiana Wesleyan Wildcats and the home Taylor University Trojans. A big match tonight as it leads towards the end of the regular season, as we're off and running here from Upland, Indiana tonight. With the win earlier today by Mount Vernon Nazarene, they have now vaulted themselves into a three-way tie with this Indiana Wesleyan club and the defending national champion Spring Arbor. And the Trojans fall from third place down to fourth, just a couple points up of securing that first-round playoff spot here at home. So a big, big match tonight and a big 3 points on the line for both Indiana Wesleyan trying to track things down and secure a regular season title, and the Taylor Trojans, who both these teams made the national tournament a year ago, both of them currently trying to get their way and secure one of those top 4 spots in the Crossroads League, which would guarantee a home match in the first round of the tournament, which is quickly approaching. Taylor in the home whites here tonight with the purple numbers and the gray accent, or the gold accents, I should say. Indiana Wesleyan in the road red with the gray numbers and the white accents on their uniforms. The Wildcats, as we mentioned, 9th ranked. They come in 10-1-3 overall, 4-0-1 in Crossroads League action. The Wildcats send the ball in. They try to play it back to the middle. It was miskicked by Ashley Townsend, the transfer coming over from Mount Vernon Nazarene, a fellow Crossroads League school. Ball sent into the box. Actually made that Sydney Brown was the one that sent it in. Now the Trojans trying to clear it out of the defensive end, as Iwu shoots in the goal to our right against Taylor's senior keeper, Hannah Brackenbury. The Wildcats 4-0-2 on the road this year. The Trojans are 3-1-3. You can hear at home. You can hear the wind in the background. It's been raining pretty much all the time since about yesterday afternoon, yesterday morning. So a very wet condition and a very slick track out here on the artificial surface tonight at Turner Stadium. Rain has stopped, at least heavy for the time being, as Brown tries to turn the end line, sends it on to the backside post, flicked over the crossbar by a Wildcat on the backside of the play. Good job there by Brown to lift that one high. She found one of the captains for Indiana Wesleyan, and that was Courtney Cockrum, the senior out of Indianapolis, coming in from the weak side. Brackenbury, the senior out of Grand Haven, Michigan, has allowed 8 goals this season, a goals against average of .74. She stopped 75 shots and has an overall record of 8-1-4. She's been the starter in every match for the Trojans this season. A new face in the goal for Indiana Wesleyan. It's the freshman Avery Sluss out of Adrian, Michigan, and Lenawee Christian School. She's come in because Hope Stacker, their stellar senior goalkeeper, suffered an injury late last season. A lower body injury. Stacker starting to work her way back in. She played in her 5th match of the season and started her 3rd in their 3-0 win, the Wildcats' 3-0 win over Bethel on Wednesday night. The Wildcats 10-1-3, as we mentioned, under the direction of 6th-year head coach Daniel Seifert. He's his 15th year as a head coach after spending 9 years leading the program in Mount Vernon Nazarene. Townsend, the former MVNU Cougar, shadowed by Emma Goebel. Her pass goes to the end line and rolls out of play. And the Trojans get ready for the goal kick with Brackenbury. Not the only version of the Grant County Derby going on tonight. The men's side over at Indiana Wesleyan started about a half hour ago, so we'll keep you abreast of what that match is starting to look like as the night goes on. Taylor has not been able to bring the ball into the attacking half much, if at all. A short-lived time here. Now Wesleyan comes right back. Thomas pounds it forward to Leah McQuaid, who scored 2 goals on Wednesday here against Huntington. Claire Massey right side. The Trojans outshot Huntington 47-4 in that match. Ball sent in right side, takes a hard skip off the wet turf. As Claire Massey was trying to connect with McQuaid, streaking up the middle. It was snagged by Sluss inside the 18. Temperature in the high 50s here tonight, but quickly dropping on this cold this breezy and overcast night in Upland, Indiana. Long sleeves abound for pretty much every player on the field. 3 Trojans going with the short sleeves tonight. Those would be Campbell Massey, Libby Thomas, and Emma Goebel. Ball sent in by Indiana West, and they continue to try to find the graduate student Sydney Brown, 5'9", out of Hilliard, Ohio, with 5 goals on the year. And there's Townsend. Nice play around Goebel, right side of the 18. Goebel uses her height and comes in and boxes out the shorter Townsend. Goebel with 5 inches on Townsend. Used that differential right there. Here's Mullins on the near side, trying to be chased down from behind. Gives it away before the pressure came. Inside the attacking half for the Trojans. McQuaid sent it crossfield to Grimm. It was too far off of Grimm's feet, but Indiana Wesleyan couldn't clear. Now a tight quarters pass is given right back to Indiana Wesleyan. It was played behind Grimm. Mallory Krieger, the leader in Wildcat points with 17, picks up the loose change and then slips it into Brown. She sneaks behind Campbell Massey. Samini crashes to the middle for Taylor. Brown wanted to work it back to the middle. She got tangled up with a younger Massey, and the ball rolled all by itself inside the box before Samini cleared it away to the far sideline. Iwu in red still holds it in on the far side, with Stott sending it in and scooped up by Brackenbury with no trouble coming. Deflected out near side. Townsend saying should be going her way, but it falls on deaf ears. Joseph Cadenas, our referee tonight. His assistant referees are Race Williams, who's on the far sideline, and Drew Marshall, who is on the near. Senna near side, heads it forward, but a right to Macy Browning of Indiana Wesleyan. Browning at the midline, right foots it forward, again trying to find Sydney Brown. She snuck behind Samini for a brief moment, then Campbell Massey comes and scrapes it across the turf with a left foot forward for Taylor. Trojans in white from right to left. McQuaid near side, and here's Senna, the Trojans' leading goal scorer, breaking on the near side with space to work. Now inside the 18 left side, Senna left-footed shot, backside post, and just misses it by a hair wide. Second shot of the night for TU, and their first real dangerous scoring opportunity of the evening. Senna, their leader in goals and points, 8 tallies, 18 points on the year for the senior out of Arlington Heights, Illinois. Thomas pressures Macy Browning near side, and then Thomas takes it away. Now Thomas streaks towards the middle, plays it behind McQuaid. The freshman legs it out and keeps it from rolling across the end line. Good job by McQuaid. A little dump around, swim move around the defender left side of the box. She gets tripped, and the whistle blows. McQuaid was not inside the box, so it's not a penalty. It'll be a free kick from the near side for the Trojans, about a whisker away from the left side of the box. Indiana Wesleyan head coach Daniel Seifert disagrees with that. Might have thought that McQuaid should be the one whistled for the foul after she got tangled up with the defender on the near side of the box. So a dangerous set piece. It'll be Senna standing over it. A yard outside of the left side of the box as the Trojans shoot on the goal to our left. Sluss, the freshman keeper, moves her two-woman wall more to our left, their right. About 8.5 minutes or 7.5 minutes into the first half, no score. Senna lifts it, pops it to the middle of the 18. Nobody home in white, headed away by Townsend of Indiana Wesleyan. Thomas, with pressure behind from Sydney Brown, dumps it back near midfield. Samini calls in Campbell Massey, who left foots it off of Brown, and it'll bounce out of play near sideline. But still deep in the Taylor attacking end as they got to throw it forward. A lot of pressure here early on from Indiana Wesleyan, and showing why they're the 9th-ranked team in the land and one of the favorites to come away with the Crossroads League regular season and tournament title this year. They've become one of the powerhouses of the year, particularly with Seifert at the controls, again in his 6th season. And the Wildcats know this field well. A handful of years ago, they had to host the opening round on this field because the field at Indiana Wesleyan was unplayable. And it's a good thing they played it here because they played the matches of the opening round in a literal blizzard. A wonderful photo that the Wildcats shared on their social media of the team standing there after their victory to move on to the final side of the national tournament. And it was just snow as far as the eye could see, and then little dots of red where the young ladies were standing for the victorious Wildcat Soccer Club. Scoreless here, almost 9 minutes gone in the first 45 minutes. And after the Trojans had to play a lot of defense in the opening almost 10 minutes of play, they're starting to ramp up the offensive pressure here. And on cue, Massey plays it into McQuaid. Claire to McQuaid, little dump. Might have gotten blocked on a left-footed shot. Mullins sprints to the near side to try to scoop it up. Has a defender right there on her heels. Overlapping run with Thomas. Back heel flick. Townsend kicks it out of play near side. It stays with Taylor. Samini jumps forward, heads it in towards Thomas. Taylor still with possession in the attacking half. Back to the senior Goebel. Big left foot forward off target intended for Thomas. And here comes Iwu quickly moving up the near side. Krieger trying to turn over her right shoulder, turns back to the left and lifts it all the way to the attacking end. Nobody home in red as the ball bounces off the knees of Campbell Massey of TU. Forward to Thomas. Back to the sophomore Samini. And Taylor sends it all the way to the far side and Claire Massey. Claire with 3 goals and an assist from her defensive spot this season. Long pass forward, cannot find McQuaid, but Iwu's deflection goes right to Mullins. Now she slips it up near side to Senna. Stomps on the brakes. Trying to elude the defender, does. Turns in, blasting this one way, way wide of the right side. It sails out of play. Senna couldn't get enough curl on it. And it's a goal kick upcoming here for Sluss. The freshman from Adrian, Michigan, has allowed 5 goals this season. Has 7 solo shutouts and 3 combined with the aforementioned Hope Stacker. 8-2-3 the overall record for Sluss. Near sideline again for Indiana Wesleyan. Browning up that near side. And lifts it all the way to the near side corner where Samini will let it roll out of play. Wind blowing, not near as hard as it was when we got out here to set everything up about 2 hours ago. But again, the constant rain and even drizzle for the last handful of hours has kept this field turf surface drier than the players would probably like. Taylor building out of the back after a near side throw in for the Trojans. Massey waits, lifts, and lets Grimm go run after it. Lifting it in a hair too far. Volleyed out of the air by Stott. Massey gets her head on it and presses forward again. Coming back to win it for the Trojans is McQuaid. Still right side of the field until Massey sends it all the way to the near side. 33 minutes left to play here in the first half. Scoreless between Taylor and number 9 Indiana Wesleyan. Here for the Grant County Derby on the women's soccer side. Near side Townsend. foot forward here from Hammond. Skied in the center circle by an Indiana Wesleyan foot. Then finds the feet of Taylor's Emma Goebel. Massey turns, one of the 4 captains on the Trojan roster. 2 yards inside midfield, far side. Blisters one forward off the one big hop to McQuaid. Far side to Grimm. The 5'10 junior races, and she'll just run out of room as McQuaid trying to set up Grimm, who comes in with 5 goals and 2 helpers on the 2023 year. Goal kick for Staus. And a short dump off to Cockrum. Taylor applying pressure in the back. Massey knifes her way in. Couldn't get a clean touch forward before Indiana Wesleyan drives it forward to Townsend in the center circle. Campbell Massey almost overran it. Nice little knife keep away with her right foot to play away from Townsend. Clad in neon, accented in neon yellow tonight with the boots and the headband. Goebel to pass too far for L. Collins. Lauren pirouettes. Couldn't play keep away from Stott. Iwu backtracks now to the middle and Browning. Right foot forward over Townsend's head. Goebel heads it pinpointly to Thomas for TU. Goebel again. Near sideline, Senna. Being a piece of it was Indiana Wesleyan. Thomas laid it back to Mullins, and the ball ricocheted to Goebel and forward to Thomas, showing off that speed. Pass up the near side, dances on that sideline before rolling out of play into the Taylor bench. Hammond directing where she wants Browning to go. Then off of Browning's knee, the talented junior out of Pendleton Heights High School in Pendleton, Indiana. After an early offensive pressure from Indiana Wesleyan, the Trojans have done a nice job of living here in the attacking half as they attack the goal to our left here in the opening 45 minutes. Still no score, still no shots on goal between either side just yet. Goebel, karate kicks it out of the air, ball deflected to the middle of the field. Grimm holds for Taylor. A little bounce away from her, and that gives it back to Indiana Wesleyan. Slipping was Madeline Welker, and then Mullins picks it up for TU again. Far side to Massey, who can really bomb it. Played to her left foot, ran through the challenge. Now Massey streaks in. Dumps right side, about 10 yards inside the far sideline. Grimm's pass intended for Collins, almost cleared away. Massey skies it. McQuaid trying to find space. Ball deflected out to the far side. Grimm, the taller player for Taylor, bodies her way to the far corner. Help comes for those wearing red. Grimm pokes it back into space. Wanted Massey. Popped again to the far corner. Grimm in tight quarters with not a lot of room to work. Slips it underneath the legs of the Iwu defenders. Then Indiana Wesleyan clears it out on the far sideline. Wind has started to pick up slightly as it blows from our left to our right. That is in Taylor's face here in this first 45 minutes. Throw into Massey off the bounce. McQuaid couldn't head it on forward. Still about where she was standing. And then Hammond skies it. Goebel pops it in. Senna forward in the air. Popped again. Mullins cuts it out of the air. Back into the 18 out of the air. Knocked down by Indiana Wesleyan. Grimm tried to volley it. Bounced up. Hit her on the bottom of the hand. Iwu screams for it. Grimm lifts one wide to the right side. Looked like it did pop up and hit the knuckles of Grimm, whose hand was behind her back. But the whistle was not blown. It ends up being a goal kick for Indiana Wesleyan either way. Tiemann and Stott, the two center defenders for Indiana Wesleyan, the two center backs, excuse me. Coming back is Krieger to help out things for Indiana Wesleyan. Far side to Stott, the captain, or one of the captains, I should say. Then back near side to Alyssa Hammond, freshman out of Cary, Illinois. Sidestep center, little Illinois versus Illinois. Ball popped to the middle. Grimm trying to be the first one to it, was not poked back, but now here comes Collins, the shortest player on the field at 5'1", measuring things as she's just outside the 18. Up top, wide open, Mullins touches, lets it go. Deflected by Indiana Wesleyan in the box. McQuaid couldn't volley it out of the air. It's out across the end line, and a Taylor corner upcoming for the first time tonight. So it's Senna taking it on the near side for the Trojans as we approach 28 minutes left to play here in the opening half. Taylor has outshot number 9 Iwu 5-1, but we are still scoreless. Big boot Senna backside. Massey leans in, couldn't head it forward. It's deflected back to the top. Goebel thought about from distance, steps in, she lets it go, and it's high and wide at the near side post. Taylor turning up the offensive pressure here with about 17 minutes gone in the opening half. So you mentioned off the top, Indiana Wesleyan, the 9th-ranked team in the land, 10-1-3 overall. 4-0-1 in Crossroads League action in a 3-way tie for first place after Mount Vernon Nazarenes win earlier today. Spring Arbor playing right now. Marion and Bethel postponed because of standing water on the field at Bethel up north. A lot of rain has come through the state of Indiana here in the last 24 hours. Mullins knocks it down but couldn't keep it moving forward. Lifted in as Iwu tries to find Sydney Brown, the graduate student. Samini takes it away from her. She gets banged between two different Wildcats. The whistle blows. Townsend puts her hands on her head in frustration. That's a foul against the visitors. Samini has a couple of goals on the year off of 2 long free kicks, so you know she can really bomb it from about midfield where she currently stands. That's exactly what she does. Puts it right on the button to Senna. Mullins, right of center now. Collins stepped away from 2 defenders. Mullins forward to McQuaid. Back to the goal. Trying to knife it on through to Collins. Could not, and Iwu turns and brings it up with Krieger in the middle of the field. Krieger, their leading point getter, with 17 points on the year. Fires it forward. Nobody home as Brown was all the way on the far sideline for the Iwu scoring opportunity. Brackenbury scoops it up. And she punts it into the light wind, facing her, going right into her face. Collins heads it down to the turf. Pokes it to the far side. Massey, that's Claire, stops it momentarily. Lifts it into the attacking end. Nobody home in white, and so Iwu sends it right back to where it came from. Bouncing far side, now Sydney Brown on a dead run. Cutting her off was Massey and kicks it out of bounds. Physical play. Now 2 players go taken down, and Massey gets called for the foul as she got hooked up with Sydney Brown, and she took her right down to the turf. Massey doesn't shy away from anybody. Word on the street, she can glare and scare the paint right off of a wall. So now a good scoring chance here for Indiana Wesleyan off the set piece as Brown has a conversation on that far sideline. It's Stott, the captain, the junior out of Valparaiso, Indiana, coming all the way up from her center back spot to take this free kick, let's call it 6 yards away from the far side of the box. Iwu just 1 shot on the night. Neither team has recorded a shot on goal just yet. Mullins called back into the box to defend, so Grimm is the lone woman standing between Stott and the box. Left side of the field, Iwu shoots on the goal to our right. Will Stott try a goal or play to the box? She'll send it in the vicinity of the goal. Brackenbury directing traffic, 2-hand punch away, still not loose, back inside. Whistle blows. And it's a violation against Indiana Wesleyan. Offside flag was not in the air by assistant referee Drew Marshall. And with 24.5 minutes left to go, the Trojans try to keep ramping up this offensive pressure. We thank you folks for tuning in tonight to our live free broadcast of Taylor versus Indiana Wesleyan, the Grant County Derby on the women's soccer side tonight. Whether you may be resting at home or maybe riding back on a bus from Michigan, we say good night and hello and good evening to you. Julia Tiemann takes it away from McQuaid. A little freshman on freshman crime right there. As Iwu tries to bring it from the back again. Townsend again accented in neon yellow tonight with the headband and the shoes. Does not have neon yellow on those black gloves, keeping her hands warm on this chilly Saturday evening in Upland, Indiana. Volleys pinballing out of the air. Then Massey finally got a toe on it, but she kicked it across the end line, and now Indiana Wesleyan gets ready for their first corner of the night. It'll be Mallory Krieger, the leader in points for Indiana Wesleyan, the senior from just outside Kansas City, Overland Park, Kansas, the home, to take it from the near side. Sets it up with her right foot, so it will not be an in-swinger here from the near side corner towards the goal to our right. Right in the heart of the 18, Townsend heads it on, diving around Brackenbury, still loose. Taylor Strolls trying to clear it. Brackenbury slides and she smothers it up on the far side as that one came creeping in close to an Iwu foot. McQuaid at the bottom of the center circle to the near side, and Thomas. Two defenders converge. She'll slip it on through, deflected near side into the Sports Medicine tent. Out. Taylor gets the throw in, and Eliza Luttrell, the freshman from Naperville, Illinois, comes in as she spells Audrey Grimm on the outside forward spot. And also coming in, Taylor Archbold, junior out of Fort Wayne, Indiana, replacing the captain, Sydney Stott, for Iwu. Actually, make it Cockrum the one that she is replacing. So a midfielder for midfielder sub, forward spot up there for the Trojans with 22.5 to go before recess. Taylor and Iwu tied at scoreless. And then Thomas gets tangled up with the aforementioned Townsend, and the grad transfer from MVNU gets whistled for the foul. Third one on Indiana Wesleyan, a fairly foul-free match so far, as we played over 20 minutes. Senna boxes it out, got a foot on it. Curled to the near side by Indiana Wesleyan, and just gets out of play before it's scooped up by one of the Taylor captains, Rachel Landis. Also, shout out to those of you coming home riding around in a van right now. Not just buses or cars, but vans too. We don't discriminate against any vehicle that you might have us plugged in through the aux cable, or maybe Bluetooth. Maybe you're a big money person to have the Bluetooth hooked up in your automobile. Sydney Thompson big on the Bluetooth as she comes in, junior out of California, replaces Senna. So both teams trying to get some fresh legs onto the field here with 21 and change separating us from halftime, and we are scoreless. McQuaid deflects the clearance, tried to jump into Hammond and keep it moving forward. Thomas is right there for Taylor, and she'll pop it to the middle. Deflected back towards the center of the field. This is Collins, a little skip, and lays it off into wide open spaces here for Claire Massey. Right side, sends it in with pace over McQuaid's head and right to the mitts of Sluss. A whisker away was from McQuaid, maybe to play that one out of the air. We remain scoreless here with 21 minutes and change remaining in the first half. Browning, and she'll want to have that one back as she looks to the sky for an answer. Just had it set off of her foot, and Taylor gets it back. So they've outshot Indiana Wesleyan 7-3 here in the opening half. That most recent attempt from Massey was the first shot on goal for the Trojans tonight. Taylor receiving votes, again in the most recent top 25 coaches poll. If it went to 26, the Trojans would be in, but they're still a handful of points away. As Campbell Massey retreats defensively, pops it, couldn't get it clearly up to her midfield, headed into the near side. Massey bumps Brown from behind. Samini comes in to clear it in. She'll deflect it off of an Indiana Wesleyan foot. Nicely done by the sophomore from Vegas. And the Trojans get a goal kick here with Brackenbury. You have to think if the Trojans could have held on to that 2-0 lead they had a week ago against Marion on the road, who's the defending national runners-up in the NAIA, they would be definitely in the top 25 poll, but just had that 2-0 lead slip away, a couple of unfortunate bounces down there in Indianapolis. And the Trojans still trying to shake that RV away from the side of their name. 7-3 shots in favor of Taylor. 2-1 though on goal in favor of Iwu. Here comes Luttrell, sprinting her guts out on the right side, closing with great speed on Hammond. Stops in the ball still free as stepping over the line, and a late foul whistled by referee Joseph Cadenas, who was about 15 to 18 yards behind the play. It was Hammond and Luttrell went right through Hammond to get to the ball, and somehow the ball stayed in play and just a hair away from rolling across the end line. Free kick from the defensive end for Iwu, bounces all the way 5 yards across midfield. Campbell Massey doesn't want any more progress forward, and she kicks into the night sky and out of play. 19 minutes left to go before recess here tonight. 0-0 between Taylor and Indiana Wesleyan. And the Trojans trying to keep their recent success against the Wildcats and make it 2 wins in a row. Iwu has a score to settle. The Trojans won at Iwu a year ago in the first round of the Crossroads League tournament. That probably helped them get into the national tournament. Browning near sideline, deep in the attacking end, plays it back to Brown. Little push from Thomas. Thomas got her foot on the cross attempt, but it goes across the end line, and here comes corner number 2 for the visitors. Stott's out, so she cannot take this corner like she did last time. It'll be Mallory Krieger, their leader in points with 17. Near side corner, Iwu in red, Taylor in white, the Grant County Derby here on October 14th, 2023, the year of our Lord. Two hands in the air for Krieger. Plays it in with the right foot, outswinger to the top of the 18. Townsend got a head on it, still loose, punched away by Brackenbury, and a nice clear from Claire Massey back near the center circle. Sent back in by Indiana Wesleyan, chested down by Goebel. Off to Massey, who drives it forward and just wants to keep it as far away from her 18 as possible. But Luttrell's got wheels, and now she's trying to turn it on the right side. Hammond case keep away from her with 17.5 to go before halftime. Scoreless between number 9 Iwu and Taylor. Flicked forward by Indiana Wesleyan. Samini plays it in for TU, or forward for TU. Thompson's clearance got blocked. Cuts in front of an Iwu player, and Taylor lifts it forward, intended for Mullins. Thomas heads it out of play near sideline as Iwu is looking for Krieger. Two Iwu subs come on. Those are Abby Dranak, sophomore out of Rochester Hills, Michigan. And number 11, Jackie Norris. Krieger, one of the two Wildcats to exit. Here's we dip below 17 minutes left to play in the opening half. 7-3 shots in favor of Taylor, but after playing a lot of defense, Iwu started to turn up the pressure offensively. Mullins forward for Taylor, calling for it's Thompson, the 5'10 California native. Hammond pokes it away from her right as Thompson is about to hit top speed. Samini heads it right near midfield where Goebel receives and turns and steps across the midline. Right-footed pass leads Thompson near sideline. Thompson stops, works back to her right foot. Big first touch, then Thompson collides and takes down Browning, and Sid gets called for the foul. Easy one right there. Some of the Taylor students down below us disagree with it, but Thompson went right into the back of Browning. Hammond, the freshman from Illinois, right near midfield, nicely placed to Browning, who spins off of Thomas. Browning with her red head bouncing with every step. Thomas is the same as well. Leading into the near side corner to Sydney Brown. Crossing with her right foot. Stepping in front. Loose in front of the 18. Shooting. And stopping it right in front is Brackenbury. And then she comes out and kicks it away. Still head held into the top of the 18. Goebel tries to clear. It's right in the middle of the field. Mullins blocks a big shot from distance. And now Mullins turns and heads up right of center. Huge save there from Brackenbury as she went one-on-one with a player out in front. McQuaid knocks it down in space to Collins' right side as we approach 15 minutes left to go here in the half. Crossfield pass near side. Thompson off the volley, and she'll skyrocket it out of play. In the blink of an eye, the Trojans went from potentially being down 1-0 to being up 1-0. Goal kick, pushing forward is Indiana West, and the shot was from Jackie Norris out front for the Wildcats, the one that was turned away from point-blank range by Brackenbury. Knocked down far side, Iwu trying to save it, and they cannot, but they play it off of Luttrell's feet. Nicely done there, just getting the toes of Eliza Luttrell. It'll be a throw in about halfway up on that far sideline for Indiana Wesleyan, clad in red as they go from left to right. Throw in by the Wildcats. Slightly tough to make out those gray numbers on the red uniforms, so might have to go more generalization with players when they're on the far sideline tonight. We can see Thomas's beautiful 12 on the back of her white uniform as she races up the near side. Brown comes in, forces the ball out of play. She tried to hog tie her down from behind. Thomas, or Brown, the elder stateswoman, 5'9" graduate student, showing she's still got plenty of left in the tank as she tracked Thomas down from about 20 yards away. Thompson heaves it in from the near sideline for Taylor. Thomas between the legs of the defender. McQuaid trying to body her way forward, tangled up with Hammond inside the 18, and the whistle blows against McQuaid. First time McQuaid and Hammond have squared off. In college, the two freshmen are going to get to know each other really well over the next handful of years. And should make it Tiemann the one that was tangled up there with McQuaid, also a freshman as well. Popping it into space was Luttrell, driven forward by the aforementioned Tiemann. Iwu trying to press from the defensive end. Morgan Fleetmeyer ready to come in near side. Getting a piece of it, Libby Thomas was looking at the sky, bumped into an Iwu player, and it's popped forward to Brown. Thomas comes in to help out Samini, and now Samini takes the ball with the help of Thomas. L. Collins, McQuaid, pressure on from her left side by Hammond. Loose in the center circle as Goebel rifles it forward. Luttrell had to come back to get it. She still is on top of the ball far side. Then back again to Claire Massey, about 5 yards across midfield defensively. 12.5 minutes left to go first half. Misplay, end line. Iwu saves it. As Tiemann able to prevent a corner kick coming up for Taylor. Here comes Fleetmeyer in for the Trojans as she replaces Mullins from the midfield spot. Throw in far sideline, Claire Massey with 12 minutes left to play in an exciting first half for the women's soccer Grant County Derby. Collins clips the defender on the far side. She's unhappy with it as she gets whistled for the foul. Elsie, the shortest player on the field at 5'1", but plays much bigger than her size. She's feisty, that 3 in white. Team in the center of the field for Indiana Wesleyan. Building from the back as they go from left to right, scoreless with their county foe, Taylor. Browning just across midfield. Thompson trying to track her down from behind. Browning directing traffic with her left foot. Had to wait for Brown to get in position, and that allowed Thomas to retreat and kick it out of play for TU. Wind starts to pick up. Again, it's in the face of Taylor here in the first half, but has not slowed down their offensive pressure. Cleared out near side Goebel as Iwu threw it into Brown on the right side of the box. Hammond throws it in, back to Brown on the right side. Thomas watching her every move. Thomas forces Brown to slip as she tried to cross it from the end line. She lost her footing, and as Thomas played it up the near side, deflected it off the knee of the aforementioned Macy Browning. Thomas throw in. Wanted Thompson, and went over her head and went off the feet of Browning. Browning dries off the orange soccer ball on the front of her white uniform, right on the heart, that purple 2 and 5 on the front. Throw in, volleyed back in the attacking end by Indiana Wesleyan. Brown wanted Townsend in the middle. Collins read it and sent it back to the near side. Midline Hammond spins over her right shoulder and lays it back to her classmate Tiemann as McQuaid tries to track her down. Tiemann tangled up with McQuaid. They're still tangled up about 20 yards outside midfield. Then McQuaid gets whistled for the foul after the Iwu fans might have been able to bend the ear of referee Joseph Cananis. You can hear what the Taylor fans down below us think about that one. They are unpleased with the 2-goal scorer from Wednesday getting whistled for the foul there. Goebel knocked out of the air. Fleetmeyer near side for Taylor. Her long pass intercepted by Browning, who was coming back to the midline. Hammond right foots it towards the center of the field. Read by Campbell Massey, who's now streaking forward with a head of steam. Campbell, nobody wants to stop her. McQuaid back to Massey. Nice pinpoint pass to Fleetmeyer. Runs through a challenge. Fleetmeyer has to wait for reinforcements. McQuaid has got Thompson to her left. Will she lay it to her? She does. 2 defenders there. Thompson's cross was deflected back up the near side as that ball just didn't get to Thompson with time to work. Brown curls one as it dances in the near sideline, stays in play, and rolls all the way back to the Taylor defensive end where Samini scoops it up for those wearing white. So the Trojans thought they're going to get about a midfield line throw-in. Instead, they had to circle all the way back as Luttrell sends Townsend down to the turf. But it was Luttrell that was spinning back to the ball, but somehow she got whistled for the foul. That was on the far side of the field. Not sure what Luttrell did as Townsend just seemed to bump into her like a bumper car. 8.5 to go before half. It's still scoreless between Taylor and Indiana Wesleyan, and after both teams have taken their opportunities having the ball in the attacking end, the physicality has been ramped up a couple notches as we close in on the recess break. Throw-in slips out of the hands far side for Indiana Wesleyan, and Taylor gets the ball on their own throw-in from the far side. Again, rain has been coming down for the better part of the last 24 hours, sometimes harder than most, but it's been misting for the most part since about 3:30 or 2 o'clock this afternoon. The mist has gotten out of here. The wind has started to pick back up, however. Sydney Thompson beside herself. Same thing with the Taylor fans, thinking it was going to be a Trojan throw-in about 10 yards inside midfield on their attacking side. Instead, Hammond readies for the throw-in here. Goebel read it, went off of her left foot and out of play. And Iwu moves up about 20 yards or so for the throw-in, still on the near sideline, just in front of Taylor head coach Scott Stan. Hammond throws it in. Read by L. Collins, heads it down to space near side and Thompson. Brown came back to get it. Browning sends it to the middle for Iwu. Massey heads it straight down to the turf. Taylor couldn't scoop it up as Browning presses in for Iwu. Browning ran through a challenge, near side Brown, trying to get a step around Thomas. They bump, ball out of play, end line, goal kick. Brown thought it went off of Thomas. She was ready to go, ready to play the corner. Now is begging for an explanation from assistant referee Drew Marshall. So both teams have been unhappy with different calls in the last 10 minutes or so. Center circle Goebel. Into the air right side as Taylor had to build from the back. Getting a piece of it right side was Luttrell. And then playing it in deep as Indiana Wesleyan to the back line. In the middle, Tiemann. Far side, good job by Luttrell to knock it out of the air for Taylor. Collins couldn't press it forward because Townsend took it away from her. Townsend has a bounce to her right to the feet of Taylor's McQuaid. Swings it near side Thompson, 2 yards outside the box to the middle. Thompson's shot was blocked. Then she gets shoved out of the way as Iwu tries to clear. Lifting it high, Brown and Thomas trying to find it over their shoulders. Brown the first one onto it, volleys it out of the air and launches it up the near side, bouncing, stopping, and Samini stops it near side from going across the end line. She turns and fires it up near midfield, held in by a hip of an Iwu player. Townsend and then Thompson loses her footing as she got tangled up with Browning. Taylor gets it back on the far sideline. Collins to Luttrell, trying to find that extra step. And a player bounced into Luttrell. No foul called against the Trojans this time. Claire Massey throws it in. Luttrell trying to find it over her shoulder. She had a goal in that. She's had 1 goal on the year. Taylor won 3-0, out shooting Huntington 47-4 as they never let the ball cross midfield against the Foresters Wednesday afternoon. Fleetmeyer turns, pressure from behind. Brown gives her a little bump before Fleetmeyer dishes it off to Thompson. Pokes it around her initial defender, but coming in to help things out was Hammond. Samini heads it forward for Taylor, trying to work around Brown, and she did. Kneeing it forward, then extends that left leg out and plays it off to Fleetmeyer. Oh, fancy little footwork from Fleetmeyer in tight quarters, and she deals off to McQuaid. Turns and big touch into space, near the middle of the field, now far side, Claire Massey. Full song, and she gets a block off the left shoulder on a big clearance try far side. Massey re-engaged with 4:25 left to go in the first half, scoreless. Wanted McQuaid in the middle of the field. McQuaid runs through a challenge, keeps the ball, and now turns back towards goal. It was Hammond that got tied up with her. Massey bouncing it in, wanted Fleetmeyer, too far for her to get to. Iwu tries to clear, but unsuccessful right now. Townsend with Goebel shoving her down to the field. Iwu wants a foul that does not come. Taylor has got double as many shots as Indiana Wesleyan, 10-5. The difference, though, just 1 on goal for TU, and the opportunities for Iwu have been much more dangerous than the Trojans have tonight. Near side to Thompson for Taylor. Iwu doesn't want to stop her. She tries from range. She deflected it right off the feet of Alyssa Hammond, and what looked to be a shot that was going to be easily stopped by Sluss, the keeper, has now led to the Trojans' second corner kick of the night. Senna out right now, so she can't take this near side corner. It'll be Claire Massey jogging in from the far sideline as we knock on the door of 3 minutes left to go here in the first half. Massey near side as we knock on the door, 3 to go. Scoreless here in the first half. Taylor and number 9, Iwu, a low one. Skips on through, skied up near the top of the 18, out to the near side in spacing. Goebel hunts it down with nobody around her. Goebel turns, faces the goal, lifts it towards the center of the field. There's L. Collins heading it into space. McQuaid, a back heel flick, wanted to come back towards the middle of the field. Instead, she'll run through a challenge. She had to shoulder her way forward. McQuaid's got whistled for a couple of fouls tonight, but this time she got chucked on the far side of the box, and no whistle rings out in the night sky. .220 and winding in the first half. Taylor still in the attacking end. Fleetmeyer, bracketed by 2 defenders, up the right side, pokes it forward. Luttrell, ball got bounced and tied up on her ankles. Back to Fleetmeyer, nice step to greatness. Pressure from behind, runs through. Fleetmeyer, one extra defender coming in. She lost her balance. Looked to be Sydney Brown that came back to get it. And now Brown leading the charge here for Indiana Wesleyan. Short pass actually goes Brown on the near side. It's given away. Here come the Trojans with Thomas. Streaking up the near side, wanted to curl it towards the sideline, and Thompson now does again with 2 defenders coming Sydney's way. She'll bash it towards the top of the 18. Collins wanted a header, went over her head. Back to the top. Luttrell kills it, steps in. She'll go far side. This is McQuaid stepping into the end line. It goes out off of who? Off of Indiana Wesleyan, and Taylor gets a corner from the far side with 100 seconds separating us from recess. We'll see how far down Massey wants to run this first half clock as Claire stands over it. Trying to break this scoreless deadlock on a far side corner. Bullets a low one in, tried to skip it in, could not. Fleetmeyer wanted to play it back into the 18, blocked by Townsend of Indiana Wesleyan. Massey lifts it in towards the box. 2 Trojans bump. McQuaid and Thompson were both right there. McQuaid pleading that one off of someone in red, but it falls on deaf ears. And with 1:05 to go in the first half, it's a goal kick for Indiana Wesleyan. Sluss, the keeper, waves Hammond forward as Iwu tries to send as many humans as they can just south, or just west, I should say, of the center circle. A low one from Sluss, headed forward now into that center circle. Goebel leans in, trying to put it to the Taylor side. Iwu pops into the air, near side of the field. Browning, a little head away from Thomas. Tight quarters, and finally getting away is Jackie Norris. Goebel's clearance sent back into the Iwu side with 25 seconds left to go in the first half. Still scoreless. Dranak near side. Wants Browning and finds her. Browning from the right side into the 18. Samini leans in and make it Campbell. Massey leaning in and heads it back to the near side, and Thompson, who blasted into the night sky with 10 seconds to go before the half. Smart play by Thompson just to get that thing as far away from her goal as possible. And with 2 seconds left, Indiana Wesleyan walks out the final 2 ticks of the clock here in the opening half. We have reached the recess halftime break. And at this break, it is number 9, Indiana Wesleyan nothing, Taylor nothing. We're back with the BSN Sports halftime report next here on the Trojan Sports Network.
Life to the full for me looks like approaching every conversation as if it is for the kingdom and to the glory of God.
Life to the full to me means being present where your 2 feet are at.
When I think of life to the full, I think of joy, especially the Taylor body, the Taylor community, what Taylor has to offer.
The way we're equipping students to live life to the full is that we're helping them have a global humility.
There are so many things at Taylor that are preparing me to live life to the full. I love doing research and engaging in projects within my major, computer science, so I could go from programming 1 minute to doing a Bollywood dance and performing as part of Mosaic Night the next.
We have a lot of opportunity here to help students and to equip them to live life full now and well beyond their years at Taylor, and part of that is the intentionality we have with developing relationships with one another.
I'm experiencing life to the full at Taylor through the different opportunities that Taylor allows us to learn about different cultures, people, and places.
I love that we get to do chapel together 3 times a week. Nobody takes attendance, nobody tells me I have to be there, but I get to be there.
I think I see that in sports, on the football field and in the throwing ring, in classes, and also in student leadership positions.
I experience life to the full at chapel because I get to play in a chapel band, and I get to sit up there and play piano and glorify God with one of my gifts.
The community gives me a sense of life to the full in that I get to see students go through their 4 years here, develop as intellectuals and scholars, be prepared for their vocations, and go out into the world and influence the world for Christ.
What limits you? Too small, too old, insecure, broken. You have no limits. Rethink your limits.
Best One Tire and Auto Care Upland is proud to support Taylor University Athletics. Located at 148 South Main Street, Best One is open 6 days a week. Owner Mike Pearson and his staff offer replacement tires from brands like Bridgestone, Firestone, and Goodyear. Customers can also shop for tires from the comfort of their home by using the online tire finder. When it's time for mechanical repairs, Best One's ASE certified technicians can perform a wide range of services to get their customers back on the road. And those same technicians can do repairs on fleet vehicles as well. Taylor Athletics says thank you to Mike Pearson and everyone at Best One Tire and Auto Care Upland. It's true. Many of us spend more time thinking about what's for dinner than thinking about retirement. But if you think your retirement needs deserve more attention, we agree, and we'd like to help. Your local Edward Jones financial advisors, Ryan Jones, Mark Sieglin, Rob Sisson, and Adam Sieglin, can help you get started today. They are proud corporate partners of Taylor University Athletics. Edward Jones, making sense of investing.
If you get sick, you can trust that we will take care of you. As a Magnet-designated healthcare system, our expert team will create a personalized plan to get you back on your feet. Marion Health. Great care from great people.
When you need the fuel to be your nephew's #1 fan, Holiday Inn Express. We're there, so you can be too.
Ivanhoe's has been serving Taylor students since 1965, when Ivan and Carol Slane purchased the restaurant. Located on Main Street, Ivanhoe's is less than a mile from the Taylor campus and is open 7 days a week. The menu features choices for lunch, dinner, as well as 100 different milkshakes and sundaes. Customers can find other dessert items as well. The staff is proud to support Taylor University and appreciates the support of Ivanhoe's through the years.
Join the Trojan Club today and support Taylor student athletes 12 months a year. The Trojan Club has 4 different levels of membership for you to choose from. Each level receives complimentary season tickets, while the Athletic Director's Circle and Trojan MVP levels receive gifts from the athletic department. Over the years, members have helped supply the funds for a sports information position, purchasing equipment for teams and the athletic training staff, and providing broadcasts of Trojan athletics like the one you're enjoying right now. With the support of alumni and friends, the Taylor combination of spiritual growth, outstanding academics, and a highly competitive intercollegiate athletic program can continue. To join, call 765-998-4331 or log on to TaylorTrojans.com and click on the Trojan Club tab at the top of the homepage. The Trojan Club, supporting Taylor University student athletes.
Welcome back here to Turner Stadium on the campus of Taylor University. Both teams back on to the field. Both teams took a little bit longer in the locker room because of those cold temperatures. We are just about to crest below 40 degrees here tonight. Special shout out to our stellar student worker, Natalie Monerick, tuning in tonight. Again, her mom finished the Chicago Marathon on last Sunday. She was not the world record setter, by the way. She was just off by about a hair or so. And football coaches, Tobin Shart, my man Jared Bodie, the flyest man in the building. Everybody's favorite 6'6", 6'7" man, Trey Wood, and the student assistant coach extraordinaire, Ian Brookshire, back in that van coming south. Football team sounds like they're going to get back here about 15 minutes to go, and they'd love to see their Trojans ahead 1-0. We're scoreless as we start half number 2. Taylor going from left to right. Campbell Massey had to sit back because she couldn't get as much juice on it to clear it as she wanted to with some pressure around her. That's Chloe Senna back out there for the Trojans after playing about 20 minutes in the first half. She'll lift it all the way to the near side, and it's Audrey Grimm with only red jerseys in front of her. Little bluff to her left. Grimm trying to turn the corner on Browning. Grimm coming near side, plays it off the defender's foot, forward left edge, right edge of the box, up top. McQuaid, one touch, and she kicked it right back where it came from. Just couldn't turn her body enough to put it right there on the frame. Good looking attempt, though, there for the stellar freshman forward McQuaid, who comes in with 6 goals on the year after tallying 2 on Wednesday's win against Huntington. High in the air, back to the defensive end. Massey again with pressure behind her by Mallory Krieger, who's moved more to attacking forward role from her midfield spot back in the first half. Sydney Brown, far side, as the Wildcats go from right to left here in half number 2. Taylor back to the attacking end. L. Collins in the middle. Grimm's got her right hand in the air calling for it. Mullins trying to slip it through her. Could not, went off of the defender's feet in front of her. Now Iwu presses forward with Ashley Townsend again highlighted in neon yellow. But Claire Massey took it away from her, and the Trojan sideline hopping up and down upset. The Angers, we've seen head coach Scott Stan get mad all year. So it looked like Massey took that one clean, as it was Townsend looked to have had tripped over her own feet. Instead, it's foul number 8 on the Trojans. But Grimm holds in the clearance near side for TU as Collins starts to streak up the near side. Grimm moving forward, wanted it from distance, launched it wide and high. Taylor outshot Indiana Wesleyan 12-5 in that first half. Against first half stats brought to you by BSN Sports. Wind has started to pick up a little bit. The Trojans have it at their back here in the second half. Goebel tried to clear it off of Townsend. She did. And since Taylor had the possession, no handball is called. Thomas had to touch it off to the far side in Senna, and now Thomas races as it rolls out of play on the far sideline by Indiana Wesleyan. Both teams with a couple of good scoring opportunities in that first half, just underway here in half 2. The women's soccer Grant County Derby here in 2023. The men's soccer side has got the Wildcats at home, leading Taylor 2-0 that match in the second half. Claire Massey, big pass forward, near side to Grimms, trying to use that 5'10 frame, couldn't get there in time before it rolled out of play. So a deep defensive end throw in here for Indiana Wesleyan. Massey bobbles it out of the air for TU, back to Goebel holding it on the near sideline. Taylor attacks the goal to our right here in the first half as Goebel dribbles to the middle. Cut down by the bottom foot of Senna, and she's just decked clean out of the air. And the whistle called against Sydney Couch, the freshman from Roanoke, Indiana. Clean Senna right off of her feet. If that foul wasn't called, there might have been a riot from the folks wearing purple and gray. And this might be Brooke Samini territory for this free kick. And that's what it looks like it's going to be. She's 30 yards outside of the box, or 30 yards from the goal. This is pretty much exactly where she scored on the opposite end of the field a few weeks ago. On that magical left foot of hers with 2 goals already on the year. Over the 4-woman wall to the goal, and it stopped and then dropped and picked up by Sluss. Samini went to the far side post. Sluss read it. Nice placement there from Samini, not high enough to get over the 5'10 keeper, and we're going back the other way with Indiana Wesleyan. Second save of the night for Sluss. And now the Wildcats having the attacking end with Brown. Volleying it out of the air. Wanted Krieger in the middle. Twisting header back up was Claire Massey's. Campbell Massey able to get it far side. Couldn't clean it away. Thomas got a piece to the end line, but a foul whistled against Thomas before the ball rolled across the end line. So one set piece opportunity on the other end leads to the other end. This one to our left here for the Wildcats. Krieger's got it about 8 yards inside the far sideline. Chloe Senna, the only woman standing between her and the box, as we're 5 minutes into this second half. 0-0 between Taylor and their cross-county foe, number 9, Indiana Wesleyan. Referee Joseph Cananis whistles. Krieger on. Backside of the post. Getting a piece of it was Brackenberg trying to slip it out. She did not. Near side of the post and headed in by Indiana Wesleyan off of the Krieger. Free kick on the far side. Brack made the initial save, and the way her teammates are hugging her, it looks like Townsend's the one that gets the goal. And she's the only one coming to the sideline to celebrate with the bench. And so the Mount Vernon Nazarene transfer does a trust fall on the near sideline, and she has put Indiana Wesleyan ahead. The leading goal scorer of the year strikes for IWU 5 minutes into the first half. '51st minute, Townsend on the tally. Her team leading 7th of the year for the graduate transfer from Mount Vernon, Ohio. And Krieger, one of the top assist leaders for the Wildcats with now 8 on the year. And the first shot of the second half is in for a goal here for Indiana Wesleyan. The 9th-ranked team leads Taylor 1-0, again in the 51st minute. So the Trojans unable to capitalize thanks to a Sluss save on a free kick from Samini. And then Campbell Massey dribbles out of bounds near sideline into the IWU bench, and the Wildcats quickly fired in just like they have all night. The initial shot was slapped away from Brackenbury, but then the second touch from Townsend got bounced past Brack and found its way into the back of the goal as Hannah tried to turn and sweep it out of play. Or sweep it back to the middle of the field, I should say. Brown in the air. Taylor setting it up defensively. It's now the Trojans looking for the equalizer here with less than 39 minutes to play in the second half. Krieger in the middle, bluffs a long-range shot. She'll step in here, fire it in. Brackenbury jumps and punches it away up and over the crossbar. Krieger looking for her 6th goal of the year, but Brackenbury turns her away. 4th save of the night for Hannah. Leo sets up a corner on the far side for Indiana Wesleyan. Or it'll be on the near side. It'll be on the near side, as looks like initially it was thought to be on the far side of the field. It'll come to the near side. And Krieger will stand over this one after getting the assist on the most recent tally. 1-0 the IWU lead. We were scoreless at the end of the first half. IWU in a 3-way tie for first after Mount Vernon Nazarene's win earlier today. That win dropped the Trojans to 4th. The Trojans, though, just 2 points back of that 3-way tie for first. Townsend ushered away by Claire Massey, and the Trojans tried to get it away from their defensive end. Lifted back in by Indiana Wesleyan, near side hold in by the captain Stott. Left-footed pass forward. Krieger right foots it to nobody, and it goes to the end line. Brackenbury picks it up, and she'll get ready and reset things here for the Trojans with 37:30 left to go in this one. She rolls it out to the near side, and Campbell Massey. Long pass to Goebel. Now pressure comes from behind by Welker. Took an off bounce off of Samini's foot, but she'll left-foot it forward. Over Senna's head and headed back to the attacking end of things for Indiana Wesleyan. But Lauren Collins, the shortest player on the field, 5'1", racing away from those in red. McQuaid dancing towards the middle of the field, lays it back to Mullins. Big first touch, sets her up. Mullins tries from range, and she'll blast it wide to the near side post. 16th shot of the night for Taylor. They have tried their hands at shots from long range, but they've been off target and wide more often than not tonight. Tiemann forward, but on her clearance try. Thomas holds it in left side. Thomas to the middle of the 18. Nobody home in white, so Sluss, the keeper, scoops it up. Or Sluss, excuse me. The freshman from Adrian, Michigan has been impressive this season. Has allowed just 5 goals in a rookie campaign. Taking over for the stellar senior Hope Stacker, who again is coming back from a lower body injury. And at her 3rd start of the season, Wednesday's 3-0 romp over Bethel. That was a match that night that the Pilots outshot Indiana Wesleyan 11-10. And also had more shots on goal, 8-6, but the Wildcats scored on 3 of their 6 on the frame. Tonight, Brackenbury's turned away 4 of the 5. Taylor with just 2 shots on goal here so far. The most dangerous one a little bit earlier on the free kick from Samini. McQuaid's backheel kick to nobody in the middle of the field in white. Cleared away by Indiana Wesleyan up the far sideline. And the Trojans get a throw in with less than 35.5 minutes left to play here. Senna heads it on. McQuaid steps around a defender, now races towards the end line. 2 defenders there. McQuaid, nice play back to her right foot. Top of the 18, lets it go, but right at Sluss, who made a 2-handed basket catch. Nice individual run there from McQuaid. And now the Trojans will start to get Kiana Seifert loose on the near side. Taylor ramping up the pressure here as Iwu tries to clear. Middle of the field, Goebel cuts it down for the Trojans. Little dump off to Mullins, back to the middle, and Goebel took a big bounce off of her foot, and she got no further than 5 yards outside of the box. Iwu blasts it in up the near side, and now it's a foot race with Samini and Krieger. Samini wins it, taps it around her. Now Samini up the full song on the near side, steps across midfield. Leads Grimm too far off of her right foot and out of play. Seifert's been dealing with a couple of injuries this year. Claire Massey gets called for the foul. She doesn't like it, as she thought Krieger backed into her. But can the Trojans unleash Seifert, who scored against Iwu in that Crossroads League tournament a year ago, the track superstar, actually make it going against Indiana Wesleyan? Joseph Kadanis, our lead referee, signaled the wrong way. So we'll see if Seifert can provide some offensive spark for the Trojans. Did not see her in the first half. Chested down and cleared away off the near sideline after Iwu almost gave it away off the free kick from Claire Massey. Claire throws it into Mullins. Popped up high and out of play. It was Stott, the one that cleared it away a few moments ago for Iwu. Grimm into Goebel. Just outside the near side of the box. 3 defenders around Goebel. Step to the end line, cross. Out of play, deflected, no. Off of Goebel's foot clean. And a goal kick coming here for Indiana Wesleyan and Avery Sluss. More often than not, she's kept center back Julia Tiemann next to her fellow freshman classmate. But here she waves everybody away. But the wind's starting to pick up going into the face of the Wildcats here in the second half. Headed back by Iwu. Right-footed clearance by Kokram. Held in by Collins. Near side to Grimm. Off of her forehead. Little dribble towards the middle again. To the top of the box, and McQuaid. Tried to turn. Deflected. McQuaid tries to fight the defender. Still loose inside the 18. McQuaid shoots and is just flicked away at the last possible moment by look-to-be Sydney Stott of Indiana Wesleyan. It was Alyssa Hammond who kept this match at 1-0 in favor of Iwu after McQuaid almost slithered her way to goal. Massey fires it in. Once McQuaid, back heel flick. McQuaid lost her footing. Collins was there. She couldn't keep it pressing forward and then sent away back near midfield by Indiana Wesleyan as Seifert saunters her way near the midline. Campbell Massey bumped into Brown. Too much for the liking of referee Joseph Kadanis, and the younger Massey whistled for the foul. She and Claire's older sister Riley in attendance tonight, as well as their former teammates Claire Nishala along with Hannah Dempsey. All 3 of those young ladies have since been married since they're graduated, but they'll still be their maiden names to me. Free kick near side for Krieger, who assisted on the only goal of the night. Into the middle of the 18. Samini backpedals. Her header wasn't cleared away cleanly. She got it away on the second one. And the Trojans quickly advance it far side to Senna, who races to the middle, now hits the brakes, waiting for reinforcements. Now re-engages. She gets bumped down from behind with no whistle. Senna kept possession. Forward for Grimm. Too hot for her to handle. All the way back to Sluss, the keeper. Seifert still waiting to check in here for the Trojans. Their leading goal scorer a year ago with 10. 10 plus tallies for the freshman a year ago, and then was incredibly impressive during the track and field season. Has been battling some injuries throughout the year, so has not had the sophomore year that she would have liked. Just 1 goal and 2 assists. Here comes Stop, one of the captains for Indiana Wesleyan. She stopped right in her tracks. Actually, make it Cockrum. Stopped right in her tracks there by Claire Massey. Mullins forward, too far near, as the Trojans have shifted some things around here with McQuaid now coming as an outside forward. Grimm is slotted back as more of a midfielder here for TU. Collins steps in the way. Mullins trying to split 2 defenders. Forward for McQuaid, too far for her. And now we will play it out to the near sideline. And they turn it, us clear it away. But this thing's going to be about halfway through the box as Seifert enters here for the Trojans. No relation that we know of to Iowa head coach Daniel Seifert. Audrey Grimm out as Seifert comes in, and she'll take the outside forward spot. Senna runs to the near side. She has 5 defenders around her. Mullins wanted to thread it through to McQuaid, comes back to get it. McQuaid trying to body her way through. Townsend turns and clears. Brown bump from behind, trying to cut off Goebel. She did, as Campbell Massey lifted her left knee in the air and got a piece of the clearance attempt by the graduate student Brown. Thomas gets it back from Collins. Now Thomas almost at full song. We've seen Thomas create and score this year. Thomas races, shoots from the box. It got blocked on the way there, maybe by Tiemann. Held in by Senna near the top of the 18. Couldn't get a pass off to Collins, who comes and scoops up the deflection. Left of center, Goebel. Far sideline, cutting it down as the newcomer, Seifert. Seifert steps. She needs just a slither to get a shot away. Try to curl it around to Collins, and it was kicked away by Iwu. Far sideline, Thomas trying to hold it in for Taylor. Races end line. Tries to dance it through. She did, and she tried to center it. It got kicked out by Iwu. Taylor gets ready for their first corner of the second half, their 4th one this evening. 29.5 minutes left to go here. It's a 1-0 Iwu lead, with the goal coming in the 51st minute off a ricochet from Townsend. The leading goal scorer on the year for the Wildcats has just added her 7th to her dance card this season. Far corner, it's Chloe Senna to take it for TU as the Trojans shoot on the goal to our right. Down 1-0. In-swinger, Senna to the back post. Massey wanted to be there. She couldn't get onto it. She had Brown in front of her, and then Massey gets called for the foul for the contact from behind. It was Couch, the one that she had collided with. And the quick restart in the back for Indiana Wesleyan. Seifert trying to pounce. Thomas stepped in, pirouetted away as the ball rolls and dances to the far sideline. Still with Iwu as Hammond turns and rockets it up the right side. Samini cleared it off of Brown and out of play, and the Trojans get a corner, or get a throw-in, excuse me. Taylor has taken 11 more shots than the Wildcats. The biggest difference, though, 5-3 in shots on goal for those wearing red. And they have the 1-0 lead right now thanks to that Townsend tally. Seifert plays it back for Taylor and Goebel. Midline and Claire Massey. Pressure comes from Brown. Massey forward. A defender right there to knee it down. And now Krieger scoops it up for Indiana Wesleyan. Little pop near side and a full song run upcoming here for Cockrum. Backpedaling is Campbell Massey. Trying to slow down Cockrum. Her shot deflected and right into the arms of the waiting Hannah Brackenbury. Fifth save of the night for the senior Brackenbury. 27-42 and winding here in half number 2, a 1-0 Iwu lead. Krieger assisted on the goal, gives off to the near side, and racing up is Cockrum. Slipped by Mullins, wanted to find Brown near side. Campbell Massey up to the near sideline, and Senna, who has shifted from the far side forward to the near side forward for Taylor last couple of minutes, particularly with Seifert coming in. Senna blocks, gets a forearm in the back, keeps trucking along as she turns in the middle. Senna races away, left-footed curl, and now Seifert, a little bit too far for her as Sluss comes out off the line, and the keeper quickly rolls it right back out to Hammond. Her fellow center back, Tiemann, tries to shake away from McQuaid and did. Far side to Macy Browning. Long right-footed pass, too far for Brown to get to. And Samini intercepts for Taylor. Long pass right to the knees of McQuaid. Pressure comes from behind. McQuaid almost slipped. Races forward. Long pass near side Senna. The Trojans' top goal scorer on the year. Senna tries to turn the corner. End line, crosses. Back in, and oh, it was almost in! McQuaid deflected it, and it was right to the hands of Sluss, who was waiting for it. What a flick from McQuaid, and if it wasn't for Sluss standing right where the ball was, we would be level at 1. Third save from Sluss, her biggest one of the night, make it her 4th, the biggest one of the night so far. Still 1-0 Iowa with 26 minutes and change left to go in this one. Seifert trying to show off the wheel. She poked it off of a defender in front. Libby Thomas jogs forward for the Taylor throw-in. Can that run reignite this Taylor offense? Throw into Seifert. Turns into space. Can Collins get there? She did. She got taken down. The ball landed at Townsend's feet, so Thomas just circles her and scoops it up. Thomas with 2 defenders fall away, far side. Seifert, she gets trucked down behind the play with no whistle. Goebel in the middle, angling with, fighting for position with Couch. As Couch will blast it to the near side. Out of play, right to the feet of Taylor head coach Scott Stan. Normally dapperly dressed, but the wind and the rain tonight has forced him to take warm and dry clothes instead of his normally fashionably attire for this Grant County Derby. Campbell Massey tried to play keep away from Brown. The ball popped up. It's back to older sister Claire. And now Samini. Far sideline, 10 yards inside midfield to Thomas. Collins gives it back to her. Now Seifert comes in to get it. The ball bounced awkwardly off of her feet and right to Townsend of Indiana Wesleyan, the only goal scorer tonight. Taylor gets it back, and the ball just bounces over the outstretched foot of Thomas on the far sideline. With Abby Dranak and Taylor Archbold coming in for Indiana Wesleyan, their first appearances of half number 2. They replace Kokram and the midfielder Couch. Browning on the far side throw-in. Brown turns and plays it in deep to the far corner. Iowa trying to get to the end line. Tangled up, and it's off for the Wildcats. And the Trojans get a goal kick. Nope, it's going to be overruled. The newcomer Dranak made the run on Samini to the far corner. It looked like assistant referee Race Williams had initially signaled, who was right on top of the ball, that it was going to be a goal kick. He was overruled by the referee Joseph Cadenas. So with 24 minutes left to play here in our second half, Krieger lines up on the far side for the corner kick. She already has the 1 assist on the night, the leading point getter for the Wildcats this season. They lead 1-0, shooting on the goal to our left. Right-footed outswinger, headed away in the air by Taylor, back to the far side of the box. Off the purple turf, headed out across the end line by the Wildcats, and Taylor gets the goal kick after Joe Locos picks up the ball and rolls it back to Brackenbury. Joe, one of the catchers on the Taylor baseball team, the World Series appearance for both baseball teams for these two schools, as Campbell Massey just races away from red jersey defenders. McQuaid into space near side. Can Senna beat Stott to the ball? Nope, Stott cuts her off, but then Senna plays it around her. Here comes Senna from the right side, racing into the 18. Senna shoots with the left foot, off the crossbar and over. Oh, Senna from a low angle shot almost took it off of the screws with another blistering shot from Chloe Senna, and the Trojans again a whisker away from leveling the match at 1. Iwu kicks it off of Iwu kicks it off of Taylor on the far sideline. And they'll have a throw in just near midfield. 2 wonderful opportunities for the Trojans. They have been that close. Index finger and pinky very, very far, not very far apart. Goebel gets the loose change. Seifert jumps, it goes off of her shoulder and right to McQuaid. Now near side to Senna, who's got plenty of room to work with Stott trying to close. Near side Senna just missed a goal earlier. Plays it back to her left foot with a big touch. Senna lays it back. Mullins, her shot was blocked. And back out to the near side. Senna will get to it first with a defender on her. Senna gets shoved down from behind. There's no foul called, and the Trojan fans irate. Iwu tried to clear, went off for the Trojans, and it's an Iwu throw-in from the near sideline. Massey jumps, and then she gets called for the foul, using the defender in front of her to propel herself in the air, and that sends the Taylor sideline, including Taylor head coach Scott Stanton, palms extended to the sky, wondering how that gets called for a foul. But then Senna, who got shoved in the back, was falling on deaf ears and deaf whistles. 21 and change left to go in this one. Iwu is desperately trying to get the ball out of the defensive end, where Taylor's been living the last handful of minutes. Archbold circles back near midfield, make it Drainack. She deflected it off of Claire Massey. It's right back to the attacking end for Taylor for a brief moment. Samini dribbling forward for Taylor, far side Thomas. She made a couple nice runs offensively tonight for TU. Samini high in the air, McQuaid. Lost it, she dribbled it back as Townsend took it away from her. Tiemann in the center for Indiana Wesleyan on the right side of midfield. Archbold. Right foot forward, long pass Redden and deflected away by the knees of Campbell Massey. Older sister Claire lays it back to Samini. So we dip below 20 and a half minutes remaining here in the second half. Iwu leading 1-0 on the 51st minute goal by Ashley Townsend, the Mount Vernon Nazarene transfer. Seifert, far side, dribbles in, deflected away by those wearing red. Stays with the Trojans, then Iwu throws it in. Too quick of a restart, hands on head, perplexed, shocked, bewildered. And here comes Bryn Collins in for TU, Lauren's younger sister. Collins, the defender out of Springboro, Ohio, takes over for the connecting midfielder, Emma Goebel. Less than 20 to play here in this exciting second half from Turner Stadium on the Taylor University campus on a soggy and cold October night. B. Collins couldn't get the clearance through, and so Brown turns and drives it forward for Indiana Wesleyan. Campbell Massey right back where it came from, headed down into space far side, a little flick floored by Drainack. Thomas to B. Collins for Taylor. Massey wanted forward, it deflected off to Seifert. Big first touch though, couldn't let her keep driving forward. B. Collins working in, she got into the air, then she collided and took an Iwu player out, and so B. Collins gets called for the foul. Gets a talking to from referee Joseph Kadanis. There's no ill will there. She was just trying to volley the ball out of the air, and her momentum carried it into the Iwu folk wearing red. 13th foul on Taylor tonight, just 5 on the Wildcat side as we dip below 19 minutes left to go in this one. Free kick from the opposite side of midfield for Iwu, leading 1-0, and this one rocketed into the 18. Brackenbury slides, covers it up with her left hand as she slid on her right hip. It was Townsend the closest one to it as that one launched into oblivion from the defensive end about 12 yards outside of midfield by Iwu. Big left foot from Campbell Massey, far side, over everybody's heads, and out of play. Iwu takes their time on the throw-in. Far side Brown curls it around a defender. Wanted to connect with Archbold on the far side. This one skied and lands in the, did it get into the baseball bullpen? Close. And so Joe Locos hops the fence. He knows that bullpen well, and he goes to traverse into the Upland Knight to go get the soccer ball. Iwu throw in far sideline to Brown, marked by Thomas. Brown trying to curl. Her crossing pass was deflected out by Thomas across the end line. No, overruled. Actually just signaled as a throw-in, so it'll be a deep throw-in far sideline for the Wildcats, leading 1-0, even though they've been outshot by 13 tonight. But a lot of those shots for Taylor have been long and have not been on frame. Just 4 shots on goal for the home team tonight. Good pressing opportunity here for Iwu. They sent it to the middle. Bryn Collins poked it away for TU. And they get Mullins for the foul as she took Townsend down to the turf. Less than 17 to go here in half number 2. Iwu looking for a cushion here, leading Taylor 1-0. Time is called as the young lady about to take the free kick for Iwu needs to tie her right boot. looks to be Courtney Cockrum on the far side. 2 hands in the air. This one a laser beam on, punched away by Brackenbury out to the near side, and she couldn't have placed it better, right to Sarah Mullins. Mullins up the near side. Brown tries to track her down. Mullins bumped with her. Paling, and then Mullins got cleaned out off the feet, and a foul is called as Brown looks to the sky, exasperated. She had Mullins twist-tied and hang-tied and hog-tied. The problem was she cleaned her feet right out from underneath her when the ball was just about to roll out of bounds. Crossfield, free kick, near side from Claire Massey to the far side, Libby Thomas. Big second touch from Lib. Poked away by Browning. Trying to sweep it away is Krieger. Massey holds it in, that's Claire. Up to Mullins, back to the trailing B. Collins. Massey waits and sends to the top of the box. Headed down by Iwu. Held into the middle of the field by B. Collins. Step to her left. Lays it back to Thomas. Little skip forward from 12 in white. Wanted L. Collins, pass too far for her, and then driven into the night sky and out of play across from us. It was Hammond in the center back, driving it away. Taylor with the throw in here. L. Collins bumped, out of play far side, stays with TU as we approach 15 minutes left to go, and Audrey Grimm comes back in for TU, replacing Kiana Seifert. So Grimm takes the right forward spot, sent it back to the left forward position, with McQuaid, the talented freshman, still in the middle at the center forward spot. So the same starting forward positioning we've seen from Taylor at the start of this match. Thomas tries to break free far side. Got away for a moment with an overlapping run with Senna. Senna's pass blocked and sent up near midfield by Iwu. Bounces away from Brown. Got spun a little bit by B. Collins. And then a desperately and incredibly late foul against Bryn. The ball was kicked to nobody and was going out of play, and then the extremely late whistle results in Taylor's 15th foul of the night and a free kick for Iwu 5 yards outside midfield as they go from right to left. Krieger, who takes every set piece for Iwu, fires it in. Massey heads it out. Mullins couldn't work it along as she was fighting for position with Welker. Hammond towards the middle for Iwu. Still loose in space. Brown slips through. Townsend off of her foot. Samini in tight quarters. Ricocheted back. Krieger, big first touch, allows Thomas to send it away for Taylor. Chested down by McQuaid. Cuts off her defender. Wants to send it to Grimm near side. Off the shoulder near side by the captain, Stott. Stott to the middle. Her long pass intercepted by the other number 12 on the field. That's Taylor's Libby Thomas. Mullins hits the brakes, works back as Welker took it away from her, and Iwu lifts it back from the far sideline to the near. Campbell Massey sidesteps Brown off to older sister Claire. 13 and change to go in the second half. Taylor trying to find the equalizing tally, down 1-0. B. Collins slipped. It rolls near side. Older sister Lauren Collins comes to pick it up. Grimm has to come back to get it. Headed down away from her. Archbold and Stott tag team to keep Grimm from having a breaking run. As Morgan Fleetmeyer enters for the Trojans, returning for Iwu is Sydney Couch. Couch replaces Krieger. Fleetmeyer replaces Mullins. Massey throw in near side. Taylor shoots on the goal to our right. Fleetmeyer, the newcomer, off of her knees. Clicked away by Iwu to the near sideline. They'll live to find another throw in. That one from Welker. Massey into the 18. Fleetmeyer cut it off. Back near the top. McQuaid in a foot race with Townsend. McQuaid, Collins from distance, and she'll poke it wide left of the far side post. 22nd shot for Taylor tonight. They've had just 4 on goal this evening. A lot of those shots from range as they have not been able to get in anywhere close thanks to that Iwu defense. Have sadly had to been from long range, and they've been wide more often than not tonight. Sluss ready for the goal kick. Held in nicely by Collins. A little pop to middle and McQuaid. Back forward to Collins. Too far for her as Tiemann sends it away. Trojans able to hold it in. Senna dumps it down far side. Fleetmeyer. She couldn't make a play on it. As Iwu to clear it off of Morgan's feet, and they'll get a far sideline throw. And as the Trojans had a brief moment to trying to get to counter on a misplay by Indiana Wesleyan, the 9th-ranked team in the country. B. Collins jumps. Got her head on that throw, and as it's worked along by Iwu just across midfield. Samini bodies up Brown, poked it away for a brief moment before Townsend got it, then L. Collins sweeps it forward. Sent back into the attack again by Indiana Wesleyan. Townsend comes forward, gets it off of the collarbone. Far sideline play. Thomas lets it bounce out, and she'll get ready for a Taylor throw as we had 11 minutes left to go in this quick-moving second half. Off of Iwu. Will return some piece of equipment to the sports medicine tent, and she gets ready to come back into the next stoppage. But the Trojans might have to start throwing people forward. They've outshot Iwu 22-9, but 9 of those shots for the Wildcats have been on goal. 6 of those 9 shots for Iwu have been on goal. Just 4 on goal tonight for Taylor, with a couple more that have been eerily close, but have either gone off the crossbar or the post. Seifert will come in as well for one final offensive push with Goebel. Sent into space. A couple players converge. B. Collins couldn't get there in time before it's kicked away by Iwu. It was Madeline Welker, the sophomore from Fort Wayne, and out of bounds, and Taylor gets the throw in. Goebel and Seifert in for the Collins sisters, Lauren and Bryn. Look at that. Taylor athletic director and baseball coach Kyle Gould, one of the ball men tonight, I guess, on the near sideline. He was incognito with the hoodie over his head, but we heard him talking, and it sounded just like during baseball season. He was talking to a home plate umpire. McQuaid with space, turns and faces the goal. Right side, just too far for Grimm as she put too much on it. 9.5 to go here in the second half. Still a 1-0 Iwu lead. Sluss taking her time, setting up the goal kick, and she waves her defenders forward. Bluffs once, and now summoned forward to kick it by head referee Joseph Cadenas. Massey holds it in near sideline. Audrey Grimm trying to get the extra step to greatness. It was flicked away by Stott. Grimm readies for the throw as we dip below 9 to play in the second half. A 1-0 Iwu lead still intact with a goal in the 51st minute. Claire Massey had it taken away near side. Nice job by either Welker or Drainack. Campbell Massey plays it off of Brown. It was Drainack that took it away from the older Massey. Claire quick throw in midfield to Fleetmeyer. Back to Samini, who's the deepest defender for the Trojans. Far side to the always creative Libby Thomas. Almost caught her on the mouth as Thomas had to limbo out of the way of it. Brown comes and makes her life difficult. Off to the far side, and Senna, who turns in the middle of the field. The Trojans' leading goal scorer, who almost scored a handful of minutes ago on one from tight range. But now a time is stopped. Will they give the card to Senna? They do, as she was the one dribbling in. They'll say that she tripped the Iwu player in front of her. And that stops the clock with 8:14 left to go in this one. And Iwu still leading 1-0 on what's becoming a colder and colder night here in Upland, Indiana. Julia Tiemann, the center back, ready to take this free kick. And blast it forward. Eight minutes remaining here in the second half. Far sideline throw in. Less than 8 to go. Throw in far sideline for Iwu. Samini turns and sends it up the far sideline for the Trojans. Big ricochet off of Seifert. Back deeper into the Taylor defensive end. Massey comes in, deflects it out for the time being. Sidestep Couch. Far sideline Browning. Her centering ball deflected down. Back to the feet of Senna. Senna tries to race forward. Got tripped up, kept moving forward, and there's the foul. The Trojans have got to go quick as that ball kicked out into the night sky. Good job by Joe Locos, far sideline, to roll the ball in for Taylor to get a quick restart as we knock on the door of 7 minutes left to go here. Samini sends it in deep. Deflected to the middle, right to Dranak. Thomas for Taylor, defensive end. Campbell Massey pressured, gets shoved down, and there's the foul call, but Iowa will gladly take it. So they can foul on the defensive end with less than 7 to go, knowing the clock is their friend right now. Samini sends it forward, right at an Iowa player. That one was Welker. Now Dranak forward. She gets taken out by Campbell Massey, and the younger of the Masseys is going to get the yellow card now. 6:25 left to go in this one. Massey's been roughed up a little bit tonight. Might have been taking out a little frustration right there. Looks like it'll be Sydney Couch standing over this free kick, with Mallory Krieger about to come in for Iowa, Lauren Collins for Taylor. But 6:25 left to go here as it's sent in by Couch. Jumping in, Campbell Massey heads it forward. Still not cleared out yet for Taylor. Loose in the middle, out of the air, volleyed, far side and wide, Welker. And Brackenbury wisely picks it up inside the 18, and she'll send reinforcements forward. Brackenbury rolls down to Samini as Iowa just drops everybody back defensively that they can. Samini with a blast forward. McQuaid cuts in, chesting it down into space. Now she still has it left of center. McQuaid tries to shake away from 3 defenders, so she runs to the near side, curls one to Grimm. Big first touch, too much of a big first touch. Kicked out near side, right to assistant coach Morgan Gehrig. And time stopped as L. Collins and Krieger back in for Taylor and Iowa respectively. It's Welker out for the Wildcats, and Fleetmeyer out for Taylor. Clock still runs with less than 5.5 to go. Taylor still down 1-0 to their cross-county opponent, Indiana Wesleyan. Massey couldn't clear it. Goebel, open spaces, middle of the field, Libby Thomas. Ball bounced around, now she's got it. Krieger comes to defender, middle of the field, Collins. L. Collins dances away all the way back to the center circle in Samini. Taylor's got to keep moving it forward. Iowa's got other ideas. 5 minutes left to go here as head coach Scott Stan waves his Trojans forward. Massey forward, just headed away before it could find Seifert, knifing in. Thomas knocks it down, top of the 18. Thomas wants to run to the end line. Tries to turn the corner, poked away from her, and before she could get it, Iowa clears it away. Far sideline, throw-in upcoming for TU and Samini. It'll actually be Senna with 4:40 left, and Taylor still down 1. Knocked forward, cut out of the air by Goebel, and then driving it to the other end nicely is Krieger. Trying to take as much time off the clock as possible as the wind starts to pick up, and it's at the back of the Trojans here in the second half. Campbell, Massey, far side Seifert, and the Taylor attacking end. Thomas on the far sideline with 4 minutes left to go here. Thomas jogs forward. McQuaid calling for it. Can Thomas get to her? She cannot, as Krieger steps in and clears it. It ricocheted off of the far side aluminum seats, and with less than 4 to go, Taylor's got to start moving quick. Thomas throws it into Senna. She gets tripped. She went over the ball, and so Iowa jogs up the far side with possession. Curls it to the middle. Claire Massey knocks it down. Far sideline, Thomas steps across midfield. Taylor going from left to right and white here in the second half, down 1-0. Seifert lifts it in, too far from McQuaid. Bluffing, loose near the 18. Cleared away by the Wildcats, near side by Archbold. Back to the far sideline. Senna able to hold it in with 3:24 to go. Senna races in, weaving, dribbling. Passing forward, off the foot by Tiemann. Still near side. Brown plays it around Claire Massey nicely. Brown near side. Massey tries to hunt her down. Up the near side, curled with 3:09 to go into the 18. Iowa needs to play the best defense of the season right now, and time will be stopped with 3:02 left to go in the second half. As an Iowa player down back behind the play. And it's their leader in points, Mallory Krieger, who assisted on the only goal of the night so far. And with 3:02 left to go in the second half, the sports medicine staff comes on the field to take a look at Mallory Krieger. We'll step away. 3:02 to go the second half. IWU leading Taylor 1-0.
What limits you? Too small, too old, insecure, broken. You have no limits. Rethink your limits.
Best One Tire and Auto Care Upland is proud to support Taylor University Athletics. Located at 148 South Main Street, Best One is open 6 days a week. Owner Mike Pearson and his staff offer replacement tires from brands like Bridgestone, Firestone, and Goodyear. Customers can also shop for tires from the comfort of their home by using the online tire finder. When it's time for mechanical repairs, Best One's ASE certified technicians can perform a wide range of services to get their customers back on the road. And those same technicians can do repairs on fleet vehicles as well. Taylor Athletics says thank you to Mike Pearson and everyone at Best One Tire and Auto Care Upland.
Scene there for Mallory Krieger, the senior from just outside of Kansas City. Had to be helped off the field by Taylor athletic trainer Casey Hackman and her head coach Daniel Seifert. Was unable to put any weight on that right leg. We wish the best for Mallory, the 5'8 senior who assisted on the only goal of the night so far, the tally from Townsend, and that's the difference right now. And also Krieger, the leading point getter for Iowa on the year, but a really sad situation there for the senior midfielder, excuse me. Less than 3 to go. Taylor still trying to find that tying tally. Claire Massey to Lauren Collins, tied up between 3 IWU defenders near side, and eluding a defender was Archbold. Now Collins with help from Grimm. Archbold falls down, and the foul is called, and the Trojan fans and sideline beside themselves and letting their displeasure be known. Two minutes and winding. And IWU kicks it out of bounds. Claire Massey quickly throws it in for Taylor. Big bounce off of Collins' knees. Tried to play down near side. Townsend boxes around and lets it go out of play. Townsend's 7th goal of the year. The difference right now, the grad student transfer from Mount Vernon Nazarene, a 2-time All-League pick, has got IWU ahead 1-0 here in the Grant County Derby. Then bluffing on a pass was Couch. She's able to get back to her feet and play it back to Macy Browning, or make it Welker just inside midfield. Out off of IWU with 100 seconds left. Taylor's got to go all the way from the defensive end to the other side of the field and goal. Headed out near side by IWU. 93 seconds left. Grimm quickly flings it forward to Seifert. Flicked out by Tiemann. Taylor continuing to move up the near sideline with a throw. Now a minute 25 left. Seifert pops it forward to Grimm. Too far, popped into the air. Desperate seconds dwindling away. Bounces off the turf. Handball and then sent down to the turf was Seifert by Brown. 70 seconds left. Free kick near side. Claire Massey to the goal to our right with Taylor down by 1. Right in front of her own bench. Right foot towards the back side of the box. A whole bunch of traffic there headed down. Thomas the first onto it with 55 seconds left to play. Thomas stepped to the end line, centers it to the top. Seifert slides, couldn't get a clean touch. A defender fell down with her, back near the top of the, back near midfield. With 45 seconds left, Samini sends it forward, wide of the near side post. And now Sluss can take as much time as she wants, trying to kill clock. She goes behind the goal to pick up the ball, and she'll go to the far side of the post and walk around with almost 30 seconds left to go. She gives it to Archbold, who will take the goal kick instead of the keeper. Archbold finding the perfect spot to tee it up, wasting desperate seconds here. The Taylor fans not happy. Massey heads it into the air with 15 seconds left. Seifert knifes her way forward. Traffic keeping her from getting to the ball. She's taken down. Foul called with 9 seconds left. 8 and 7. Senna trying to find something with 3. Back to the far side, and that is going to bring our match to a close tonight. The Trojans gave it everything they had, but the 51st minute goal by Ashley Townsend gives number 9 Iwu the 1-0 victory tonight against a Taylor Trojan team that outshot them 22-9, but the biggest difference was 6 shots on goal to 4 in favor of Iwu tonight. Taylor had a couple of chances that didn't go down as shots on goal. They were just off the post and the crossbar. But it's number 9 Iwu coming out of here with a 1-0 victory tonight over their Grant County rivals. Special thanks to Soleil Babcock, our camera operator upstairs. We thank you folks for tuning in tonight as well. The Trojans
proceeding has been a presentation of the Trojan Sports Network.